Another thing most people don't realize is your broker is not obligated to get you the best price on a stock or bond sale, or even give you the lowest cost product. They will never be punished for selling you an annuity or a mutual fund that costs substantially more than an equivalent mutual fund or annuity. They're held to a suitability standard, which I'll explain now. See, commission planners are only held to what's called a suitability standard. It doesn't mean the product has to be the best for the client. It just means it has to be suitable. So if they're selling you an annuity because they think, well, you could use some retirement savings, well, they could put you in the most expensive annuity. They just have to say, well, an annuity is suitable for the person. Now, if you're looking at a fee-only firm like Picket Fence Financial, we have to act as a fiduciary. That means we have to put the client's interest first, above all others, including our own, in everything that we do. There are other big differences that most people aren't aware. The regulation for most brokers, they're regulated by FINRA, or what used to be called the NASD. It's an internal regulatory agency. So if you have a problem and you have a complaint, you can't take these people to court. You go to arbitration. And during arbitration, there's 3 people sitting there. One of them is a broker, a second is an independent bystander, and third is somebody who's supposed to be like you, another person in your situation. So what's the probability that that broker sitting on the arbitration board is going to find on your behalf? It's very rare, so you really don't have any recourse. The other thing that's really wrong with a lot of commission planners is they don't have to disclose what their compensation is, only if you ask them directly. So you never know what they're making in commissions. The other thing is they don't have to disclose the conflicts of interest that they have. Sure, there's that little phrase in the small print, but that's the only thing that you have that will tell you that there could be a possible conflict of interest. So when you're looking at advisors, you want to look at somebody who's fee only and who's going to act like a fiduciary for you. That way, you know that they're regulated by the SEC or the state that they're in, and if you do need any recourse, well, you can take them to court. Plus, they have to disclose all their compensation and if there's any conflicts of interest. So what are the key questions you should be asking when you're hiring a planner? The first one you want to ask is, do you act as a fiduciary? If they don't act as a fiduciary, if they're not going to put your interest first, you shouldn't be working with them. You shouldn't put your life savings at risk for somebody who doesn't have your best interest at heart. Also, how are you compensated? You need to know how they're getting paid. I think that fee only is best where there's no commissions involved whatsoever. But if you feel comfortable with somebody who's working on commissions or fee and commissions, that's okay. But you need to understand how they're being paid. Another thing you want to look for is somebody who's certified. A certified financial planner, a chartered financial analyst, or a CPA is probably your best bet. And finally, you want to know, have they ever been cited by a professional organization for conduct? There's way too many advisors out there, so you shouldn't be working with somebody who's been reprimanded by some regulatory organization. So hopefully this gives you an overview of how Wall Street really works, and most people really don't understand how it does. And I think it also shows that when you're hiring an advisor, you want to make sure you're hiring somebody who's fee only and is going to act as a fiduciary on your behalf.